Okay, so today we're going to talk about being poor, which is a lot different than being broke. Okay, being broke is temporary. That can be a temporary thing. Maybe you just had a bad break. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe you had a bill that came up that you couldn't afford or could barely afford. Okay, that can make you broke. But being poor is something completely different. Poor stands for passing over opportunity repeatedly. Okay? How many times has something probably come along in your life to where you're like, man, if I had just invested in that, if I had just put a little bit of money in that, or if I had just started being my own boss at this point, I'd be sitting pretty right now. Oh, I had that idea for that restaurant, or I had that idea for that widget, or whatever the heck it is that you thought of inventing, that someone else a year later comes out and takes the market, and all of a sudden they're the millionaire living in a big mansion somewhere out in the ocean. And you just sit there and you go to your job every day, and you work your 8 hours, you come home, and then you go back to work the next day, and you barely have money to take a vacation once a year, if you're lucky. If it's a good year, if the whole world isn't shut down, maybe you have the money to take your kids to Disney. Maybe you can go to Gatlinburg for a week. That's not money. That's not what people with real money worry about. And those people aren't rich because they're smarter than you. They're not super geniuses. They weren't born with some special gene that gave them the ability to make more money than you. They just take those opportunities. They take those opportunities when they present themselves, and guess what? Now, they're on a yacht somewhere, and at 10 o'clock in the morning, you're probably in a factory, maybe just had your first break, and you're outside having a cigarette or chatting with your friends, talking about what you're going to take your kids maybe to go do this week, and maybe planning on going out for dinner. And who taught you to live like this? Did you take financial advice from rich people? Are your teachers rich? Are your parents rich? If they are, good for you. So, I just think, why are we taking our financial advice from people who are not rich? Like your teachers in college or high school who taught you how to manage money, how to invest your money, are they rich? No, because they wouldn't be teachers if they were. Are your parents rich? Are they living in some freaking mansion or have a yacht, own a bunch of real estate? Probably not. They're probably going to hope for their $1,500 a month retirement check from the government and just hope that their savings will last them long enough until they die and maybe have a little bit they can still give to you. That's not wealth. That's not being rich. That's not being financially secure. You're not. You're just not rich. You are a poor person. Okay? What happens, like with this last year? All it would take would be for the government to not send out those checks. Maybe for Social Security to run dry, and how many older people, elderly people, people in their 70s, 80s, who have been living off this government check on a fixed income would just starve to death. Couldn't afford medicine, couldn't afford basic things, keep their heat on, their lights on, because they've all bought into some promise that, oh, well, if you work 9 to 5 and you give somebody your time and then they'll reward you and maybe they'll let you make a little bit of money. Maybe you could have a little 3-bedroom home and raise your 2.5 kids. Get a pension. Well, those pensions aren't hardly there anymore. Social Security is just barely there. We print money like crazy, and no one has any assets. No one has assets. We have a house that costs you money every month, every year, constantly. People talk about houses like they're assets. Okay? That's just in the hopes that someday you could sell it for more than what you bought. That's it. What happens if you have a fire? What happens if the housing market crashes? If you take and calculate all the money you've paid to that house for your mortgage, your taxes, for your just upkeep, at the end of it, you're probably not very far ahead. You're just not. A house that you live in is not an asset. Now, if you own property that people are renting and paying you monthly, and you're bringing in more than what you're paying out, that's an asset. But your home that you live in, on the rare occasion that you might be able to make $30,000 to $50,000 at the end of your 30-year mortgage, and you might be able to retire down to Florida and live in some basically nursing home, I mean, that's not financial security. And I'm not a financial advisor, okay? I have no background in this, but I've started listening to people who are wealthy. And there's plenty of them on here on YouTube. There's people who are wealthy, people who have made money, who will show you how to make money. And I've just started on this journey, okay? I've just kind of come to that realization. No one who taught me how to make money was wealthy. No one. My parents, middle class, average. My grandparents, dirt poor from Kentucky. My grandpa was. You know, no one had money. They traded their time for money. That's what they did. They traded their time for money until they got old enough and maybe lived on a little lake in a trailer and then died and had nothing. Had nothing to pass down to their children. Constantly worried about being able to afford medicine. Constantly worried about if they can pay this bill. Well, can we pay this bill and still take this vacation? They're broke. They were broke. And odds are, unless you come from a wealthy family, your grandparents, your parents, whether they know it or not, are broke. Wouldn't be able to survive a 2 to 3 month layoff if there was no income coming in. They wouldn't have anything. Most people are a few months away from living on the streets and being poor. That's all there is to it. Because they haven't taken advantage of opportunities when they present themselves. I've missed a lot of opportunities. I've had a lot of things I thought were going to be opportunities that wound up costing me more money. And I just want to see people learn to take those opportunities. I'm trying to teach myself to take those opportunities. Okay? One of those opportunities, I believe, is cryptocurrency. My personal opinion, the best way to create generational wealth. I'm talking generational wealth, not just the kind of, well, you know, I can maybe hand down $100,000 when they sell my house when I die. Maybe I've got a couple of guns that my sons or my grandsons can fight over who gets what, who gets this. I'm talking about like Bilderberg, like rich wealth that comes around in a generation. Right now, we're in the middle of the 4th industrial revolution, okay? This is the biggest thing that's happened to money. I don't know, probably since gold coins. Money is being changed. Like the money in your pocket right now is being changed. Most people don't know about it. Most people will go work their 9-to-5 job. They'll notice that the money that's in their pocket is buying them less and less at the grocery store. You know, when I was a kid, if you went to Walmart and you could walk out with spending less than $100, you know, you're like, oh, you know, I did okay. Now, you can't even go to the grocery store and buy a week's worth of food for your family. If you have, especially boys like I do, that eat a lot of food, you can't walk out of there without spending less than $100. Money is changing. Your money is changing. Money is going all on the blockchain, they call it. Cryptocurrency is the future of money. And it's going to create an even larger divide in the wealth gap in the world. Not just our country, the world. Because there will either be people who saw this coming, who took advantage of the opportunity as it presented itself, and realized, wait a minute, I don't have to be Bill Gates to invest in cryptocurrency, and people are getting 100x, 1000x. I saw something the other day where somebody put in $50 and turned it into $40,000 on a pre-launch coin. That's insane. That's how you start creating wealth. And then once you make those kind of gains, you put those kind of gains into a project that's stable, that pays you interest. You start to learn how to make your money make money. That's how you become wealthy. When your money makes money, and not the strength and the sweat of your back and working your butt off makes you money, your money makes you money. That's how rich people do it. Their money makes them money. They don't get up every day, go work in some job, answer a phone, lay shingles, pour cement, build skyscrapers. That's not what they do. Their money makes them money. That's it. Their money makes them money. You make money. You have to get your butt out of bed, drink your coffee, drive your car to work. Well, maybe not now. A lot of people work from home. But you have to get up, get your kids ready for school, head to work, sit there, watch the clock. Oh, that wasn't good, was it? And hope that maybe by the end of the day, the end of the week, that company will write you a check for your time. Assuming that company doesn't close down with the way things are today. Right? So, I want you to stop and think about what it means to be poor. You don't have to live on the streets to be poor. You don't have to be homeless. You don't have to be somebody out here begging for food to be poor. Odds are, you are on the brink of being poor right now. Even if you have a decent, stable job, I think we've all learned in the last year or so that anybody can become poor real quick without the government's help. So, I want everybody to think about securing their financial future. Think about what you want to do when you hit those ages or those years where you're like, you know what? I'm done. I just want to be done. Well, are you going to sit around? Are you going to hope the government pays you $1,500 a month from Social Security or whatever it is they decide that the, generous government is going to pay you back for your years of service, of being a cog in the freaking wheel of the machine, of them just taking your time, slowly killing you, and working for money that they're gracious enough to give you, because that's what you're doing. Now, like I said, I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own homework, okay? I want everybody to research stuff for themselves. Don't take my advice. I'm just some redneck driving in a truck right now to a job that for a customer of mine. But I want you to think, should I be looking into this? Like I said in the last video, rich people are doing it. That's where all these people are putting their money. Maybe a portion of your money should start going into this. Now, there's a product coming out that's based on gold, which has always been worth something, which I believe will be worth about $12,000 an ounce in the not so distant future. Right now, 1800. I just heard a guy the other day on Stansberry Research Channel, maybe, I think it was. I don't know. It might have been I Love Prosperity. I don't know. I follow a bunch of these people. But they had a very highly respected market analysis who deals with precious metals talking about $12,000 an ounce. That's insane. Now, right now, you can buy a cryptocurrency called GSX. Okay, it's by Apollo, is the main company, and it is based around gold. Gold mines. The company actually has gold mines that you are buying into at 10 cents right now, and I think today there's still a 7% buying bonus. So anything you buy, you're going to get that plus 7%. Okay? So if you put in $1,000, that gives you 10,000 of these coins at 10 cents per coin. Plus, you're going to get a 7% buying bonus on top of that if you use the link that I'm going to put down in the description. There's also a 5% added bonus, so what's that, like 12%? If you spend $5,000 or more, which, if you don't have, I get it. I didn't spend that much either. But I just want people to start thinking about where money is going. You know, look into it. I'll put links. There's other ones. You know, you can get Bitcoin, you can get Ethereum, you can get XRP. There's Stellar Lumens, which actually Stellar Lumens just opened a whole new market up. There are actual countries that run their entire monetary system on cryptocurrency already. Ukraine has its entire currency, railroad tracks. Their entire currency runs on the Stellar blockchain. They have no more paper currency that's worth anything. Ukraine uses the Stellar blockchain to run their money. The Bahamas use what's called a sand dollar now. When you go to the Bahamas, you actually have to purchase their cryptocurrency. You have to buy sand dollars in the Bahamas. You have to change your money in for sand dollars, which is a cryptocurrency that they use. If you think the US isn't going to be in this quickly, you're out of your mind. You need to start looking into it. I think GSX is a really good opportunity. I've started putting money into it. I've gotten my family to start putting money into it. I want to start creating generational wealth. Screw you money, basically, is what I want. I just want people to start looking into this. I want everybody to have the opportunity to grow their wealth, to not be poor, to stop passing over opportunities repeatedly, and move your financial future in the right direction. All right, everybody have a great day. Those are just my thoughts, and we'll talk to you later. All right, bye.